New security procedures at the airports facing their first big test this week, one of the busiest times of the year for travel. The scanners in place can essentially take a naked picture of a passenger. Now, if that's too intense, you can opt out of the machine, but get ready for the pat-down, an extremely thorough pat-down. Hands are placed in areas that were previously no-go. The breasts, the groin, the buttocks. All can be touched by security officers. That's too much for some. Joining us, two guests. Security expert Isaac Yafet, who spent years in the Israeli Secret Services in the field of anti-terrorism. He is also the former director of El Al Airline Security. And GiGi Bowman. She is an activist with a group called Save Long Island. She's promoting a protest called National Opt-Out Day. Welcome to you both. Isaac, first to you. You're the security professional. You have lots of experience. Are these new procedures effective?
Not at all. The opposite. We abuse people's rights by forcing them at the beginning to take off their shoes, now to see their body naked.
One thing, if you don't mind. John Pistol, the former FBI man who's now in charge of the Transportation Safety Administration, told Congress that these procedures work and that these procedures would have detected the PETN that the underwear bomber used about a year ago. He's wrong?
Totally wrong. Totally wrong. You go after the terrorists. Go after the suspicious passengers. Don't go after innocent people. Stop going after pilots. Since when the pilots in this country became the terrorists or the suspicious? Pilot doesn't need any weapon or explosive to kill the passengers.
I understand, Isaac. I just thought of a pilot who took down a jet from Egypt Air. Do you remember that in 1999?
Sure,
pilot at the controls of a perfectly good airplane nosed it over into the ground. So, I mean, we have seen pilots do crazy things before. GiGi, it's my understanding. Look, a lot of people are really concerned about this. You're getting a lot of attention. It dominated the Sunday talk shows yesterday. Why do you want to hold the protest on Wednesday? What will it entail? But it seems like, you have a lot of support. Perhaps you're just going to hold us all up. I mean, the thing is already being debated pretty fully.
Well, good. Let's hold you up.
Are you going anywhere for Thanksgiving? Are you staying local?
I have to make Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday. So,
but local, you're not traveling.
Well, I live in Long Island. You know what? Sometimes traffic from Kennedy to where I live takes a couple hours.
What are you supporting folks actually do on Wednesday? Tell us about National Opt-Out.
What we're doing is we're handing out flyers to people entering the airport just to give them a little education on what to expect. Some people have no idea that what they're about to deal with is either unconstitutional or that it will affect them and their dignity.
You want to educate them, but
yes.
My understanding is you're asking for them to do a little bit more. You're saying they should say no to the scanner, yes to the opt-out. The idea is that TSA, they're not equipped to handle that.
We're hoping
is that it?
We're hoping to slow it down, and this way we can eventually hurt them in the pocketbook, because
you're going to hurt TSA in the pocketbook? You're going to hold all of us up?
Yes, we're going to hold all of you up. That is what we're going to do.
But what do you, look, we're already talking about it. It's already being debated nationally. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton coming out, raising doubts about this procedure. How, if I want to go somewhere, holding me up, how's that going to help?
There are still people who aren't paying attention, who have no idea. And if we can help one person who might want to change their minds by reading the information that we have,
okay,
it's worth it to me.
Isaac, I'm questioning whether how legitimate and how widespread this outrage actually is. Some surveys that have come out over the past few days, they've screened 1 million people since November 1st. Only 700 people have lodged formal complaints. A national poll in October indicated that 81% of the American public in favor of the security scanners, even when they were told about how revealing they would be.
I doubt if 81 or any other number are in favor, because you have to ask the professionals people. You cannot spend hundreds of millions of dollars for equipment that you don't need it.
Why don't we, wait a second, why don't we need a device that can detect, or a procedure that can detect PETN, which is the same explosive that the underwear bomber used a year ago? In the past year, I know that we've had explosives they actually made it on board airplanes in the past year.
Show me one thing that the TSA did right. Look what happened, the printer in Yemen.
Right.
We are losers. We failed. Look what happened with the Nigerian guy. We failed. We are reacting instead of being proactive.
My understanding
when
is,
we will not understand that by being proactive, we can be the winners.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll continue to suffer.
We all want to win here. My understanding is that cargo made it on overseas, and TSA.
What's the difference?
TSA doesn't necessarily govern the screening procedures, say in a place like Yemen. Also, I've heard from Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda, they made this public that look, the procedures that are in place now have made it harder, almost inconceivable, for another 9/11 style attack. GiGi. I mean, this is not their preferred avenue anymore. They're not going this route because of these procedures that we have in place, albeit they're inconvenient, albeit they're a pain in the neck.
My feeling is that it's easier to get in this country climbing a fence as an illegal alien than it is to get a family of 4 to Disney World. It's out of hand. If all of a sudden a supermarket is bombed tomorrow, are we going to start having scanners and groping to get into a supermarket?
Well, they do in Israel, actually, and they have that in malls. And I'm curious, I mean, that to me, I understand it's a different reality there. It's necessary there. But again, I'm just surprised, Isaac, that you see no merit at all in these new procedures. Not talking about the inconvenience, the civil liberties issues, but in just this pure security value of the scanners and the new pat-down procedure.
Believe me, the best solution is to build a system that we can show the enemy that from now on we are proactive and we don't react.
Proactive. We have more troops in Afghanistan than ever before, more U.S. troops. Apparently, Predator drone strikes have gone up since the Bush administration. We're targeting folks in Pakistan. We weren't doing that aggressively. There are things going on right now that aren't advertised day to day, right?
With all my respect to you, what we do in Afghanistan, this is reaction of our failure in September 11. If we did not
give me one, what's the proactive step that you want to see take place? Give me
interview every passenger.
Interview every passenger.
Yes, this is simple.
Interview every passenger.
Every passenger. Anyhow, when you go to take the flight,
aren't you interviewed already? Don't you have to answer questions about did you pack this stuff yourself and that kind of thing?
There is other system also. You ask this question. Anyhow, when you come to take the flight, you have to be waiting online to the ticket counter.
Isaac, thank you. GiGi, last word.
We have a science. We have TV shows that show us that there's science to read people and to see if they're nervous or if they're planning something or if they're angry. Why can't we have this sort of science? I
tell you why. That would be stopping me every month. I could never board a plane. GiGi, Bowman, it's a serious topic. We'll have more on this, of course. Isaac Yafet, thank you so much. Good to see you both, and good day, New York. We'll be right back.
Get myfoxny.com on your iPhone free at the App Store and stay connected.